Well, welcome to the live stream. Sorry about that. I was running to get my coffee. I forgot it. I wasn't going to do the whole live stream without it. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm winded. I ran down the hallway. Thank you so much for joining me tonight in tonight's live stream. Really have some exciting stuff to do. So we're going to get on the Batcave glasses and get rid of these right here, the bifocals, and just put on the high-tech studio I can see you glasses. So I want to say welcome to everyone in the live stream. We do have a poll tonight, and so I'd love to have you guys answer the poll if you had not already. It says, do you use a web camera now for video meetings and live streaming? And I know that laptops have webcams, but and that would qualify. So if you said yes because you have a webcam in your laptop, that's perfectly fine. But tonight we're going to focus on webcams that you purchased and used through USB-C or USB-A inside your laptop. Could be a MacBook, could be a PC, could be a Mac Pro Tower, could be lots of things. But do you use a webcam for video and for live streaming, yes or no? We have 86% of you say yes out of 7 votes, and 14% of you say no. So you guys can do the math. It sounds like one of you said that you do not, but we'll leave that poll up there for a while, give people a chance to pop in to the stream, and let's get chat ready to go here and say hi to some folks. So let's go back up to the very top, and let me just pop this up there. This should be a fun night. Let me know what you think and what questions that you have. Thanks for joining the live stream. So part of the reason that I go live is so that we can interact. Special shout out to those of you who attended the town hall meeting last Tuesday night. Once a quarter, I try to invite people to a Zoom call. Got the bat mug, got the bat signals on it. Converting this to the bat cave. Who knows? There might be rocks behind me later this year. We'll see. But tonight's stream should be a lot of fun. And like it was fun to be with some of you face to face last Tuesday night, we did a 1-hour stream focused in again on the YoloBox Extreme. Very interesting product. Did a beta firmware update today, so I'll check out that tomorrow again. But that's been lots of fun. Recent addition to the studio has been the Rodecaster Video as well, and now they have announced the Rodecaster Video S. And if you remind me, we'll talk about something else that's rumored coming from coming from Rode. So one of you guys reminds me in the chat about that later. That would be great. So it was fun to be together, to meet some new people and get a chance for some of you to kind of tell your story. There's never really big crowds, but I think we had 5 or 6, counting me, in that Zoom town hall. And if you'd like to join the next one, keep tuning in to the live streams, subscribe to the channel. And then once a quarter, so we're about 3 months away now. But in this springtime, we'll do another one, and we just have a shorter live stream. And then 15 minutes after we take a break, we join a Zoom call. It's not recorded, so there's no playback. It's not on YouTube. It's just a Zoom gathering, and you get a chance to meet some of the other people here on the channel, maybe tell a little bit about yourself and what makes you tick when it comes to some of this technology that we gather every week to talk about. And that is an absolute privilege. And there's lots of cool things taking place in this next year. So let's just go through the room here. Thank you so much for joining me, Grish. Tony said he's going to be in the chat. I'm assuming Tony is here. So it might be an hour or two. You might join later because he has a Tuesday night commitment now, but it's great to have you here. Grish says, ho, ho, ho. That's cool. 33 degrees Fahrenheit, where Grish is from. And I think Grish, you're in Spokane, if I remember right. So that's not far from me. It's good to have you, Doug, as always. Doug Force, great channel. You should go check it out. Kind of a cool guy, and thoroughly enjoy checking out his videos when they pop up in my feed. And I haven't seen one for a while, but we'll have to go over and check Doug's channel out again. Watching webcam overviews feels less like shopping and more like meeting the cameras that I'll be watching me later. Let's see. Generate joke. Since you're getting invaded by cameras, let's continue to go down through here. It's good to have you, Hank. And we did miss you last Tuesday night for the town hall meeting, but I totally understand, but just want you to know that you were missed. But thanks for letting me know that you were not going to be able to make it. Yeah, and we hope there's no storm over, Hank. No ice, he says, just colder than normal. Grish says record. Yeah, I'm doing ISO recording, so I'm going to wait a few minutes. But thank you for reminding me. It's good to have Rick here. Rick was able to join us last week in the town hall meeting. It was great to hear what he's doing and in his studio, and very interesting. He has actually the new ATEM Extreme ISO G2. That's the new device that was announced by Blackmagic last year. And so it's really cool to be able to have a couple FaceTimes with him and be able to see that device in action. No jealousy here. So did they reintroduce the third gimbal thing in the new Insta360 Link 2? I know that was a concern in the previous model or something like where you couldn't mount it upside down properly. Yeah, we'll talk about that here, and I'll address that question, Grish, here shortly. Let's see. It's good to have you, K9 Striker. It's a bit 14 degrees burr there on the farm with the horses, but it's great to have you in tonight's live stream. Obviously, your name isn't K9 Striker, so you can share with everybody your name if you so desire in the chat. And so, because again, I want us to be able to get acquainted. It's fun to hang out every week. And so let's see. I said ho because you said ho, LOL. Yeah, well, that's cool. Third axis, whatever it's called. Yeah, so I think I've said hi to everybody in the chat. Let's dive into what we're going to be talking tonight. Let me actually activate a camera here. Actually happens to be a Insta360 camera. And we're going to change microphones. So tonight we are going to unbox the Insta360 Link 2 Pro. And I just want to say thank you to Insta360 for sending me this camera. I apologize for the lack of audio. I should have been looking at the chat. And I got so excited about talking about this new camera that I didn't get a chance to turn my microphone on. So I can see I have audio levels now, but I apologize for that. But those of you that can read lips, you probably had a great time trying to figure out what I'm talking about. So this was sent to me by Insta360. I've had 3 cameras in the studio, all of which I paid for, but they reached out to me, asked me if I would be interested in unboxing this new camera. We emailed back and forth. I told them I would be happy to unbox it at one of my live streams, hook it up, and do some comparisons. If I really like what I see, I will actually do another video or 2 here on the channel. I will say there's some major upgrades in this. I started with my first Insta360 camera about 2.5 years ago, I think, and then I added a second one. Then I added the new Insta360 Link version 2 when it came out, and there was some differences as far as the quality that it gave me, as well as some changes in the gimbals, and we'll talk about that tonight. And then they just recently announced at CES 2026 the new Insta360 Link 2 Pro, and then they had a release last Tuesday, and mine had not arrived, so I was not able to bring it on the last week's live stream, but it is here tonight. I did not know they were sending me this, but tonight is my opinion, even though this is sponsored by Insta360 tonight, as far as they sent me the camera, but I still have the plastic on it, and I haven't opened it, and we're gonna hook it up, and I've got 4 webcams hooked up here in the studio that we're gonna compare, and I'm gonna take you on my webcam journey before we open this one up. And the downward camera that you're seeing right now is one of the 2 original Insta360s that I have in the studio. One of them I'm using for my desk cam, which is what I really like about it. And the other one I'm going to be using to compare with the newer Insta360 Link 2 and the YoloCam S3, which has been recently released by YoloLive, the original FaceCam by Elgato, and they've had a number of different FaceCams come out since then. You can look on Elgato's website, but I have the original FaceCam, and we'll talk about it. And you're gonna see all these in a side-by-side comparison. And again, I apologize very much for not helping you guys out by having audio on when I was talking about all of these. So before we dive into these different webcams, let me just go back here and see if anybody else landed in the chat. And again, I apologize for no audio. Laugh out loud. That's the best reaction in that chat stream. And no, don't use the knife. Yeah, so good to have you, Joe. And joining us tonight, I think that's the only person that I haven't already said hi to. And again, tonight is going to be about unboxing the story all over again and the camera. So let's do this. Thank you so much for your patience. And this is going to be one of those videos that gets on the live stream and people are going to start watching it. I'll put chapter markers on it and make some notes in that there's no audio in that slot. So what I want to do now is take you guys on just a little journey that I've been on. So I'm going to, let's see, let's change to me and my laptop. And even though you're seeing the audio right now, we'll turn on ISO recording. So we are now ISO recording all the different inputs. I'm going to go ahead and fire up OBS here and kind of walk you through what we're doing here to share these different cameras. So let me pull this over to start with. So this is OBS, and I have my normal background back here, and then I have all of the cameras I'm going to be using tonight. They are set up in quadrants and kind of a super source layout. I have labels for them, and we're going to walk you through these cameras. But in order to full screen it the way I have my laptop set up, I need to pull it over on my other screen, and then I'm just going to right click and cast to Blackmagic Design, and that takes over that screen. So there's nothing there but another background, but let's just go ahead and let's walk through this journey together. I'm going to change back to this microphone for right now and make sure that there is still audio, just a better sounding camera. And then what we're going to do now, let's get my mouse over here. Let's bring on the original camera. And I think it was the Insta360 Link, which was the first camera that I ordered and I bought. It might have been the Elgato Facecam. I cannot remember. But if we were to bring up the Insta360, and then I'm going to make a transition here. Here is that camera. Now, all of them are pretty much up there looking down at me. And so I wanted you to see my EOS R right here, which is a high-end camera. It has a full-frame sensor. It can handle lots of light. It has a very nice lens on it. So that's the kind of picture you get me on the right. And then the first camera there. And we'll go ahead and add the label here. So there you go. So that's the Insta360 Link, and then we'll transition that over. So there's camera number one. So this was the links. I have two of those. I use them to take you around the studio. I can pop SkyCam on right now so you guys can see the other one that I'm always showing you. And I've already showed you once tonight, so we'll do SkyCam on the air. So there you have the same camera I was using. So these two cameras on the screen right now are the original Insta360s, and they have 3 gimbals, which that's what Grish was talking about earlier. So what does that mean? That means it has a gimbal to go like this, has a gimbal to go like this, and it has a gimbal to go like this. And this gimbal will turn portrait, which is really cool. And when they went to the new Insta360 Link 2, they went from a 1/2-inch sensor to a better 1/2-inch sensor. So sensor size is the same, but they went to a better sensor. And you guys will probably see some lip delay on the web cameras. That's why I'm in the frame. So for funs, kicks, and giggles here, let's turn SkyCam then off the air, because it is the same SkyCam off. It's the same camera that you're already seeing. And let's add another camera. So the next camera that I purchased, if I remember this series of cameras correctly, it was this camera, which is the FacecCam. And it's a little warmer than the other camera, but there you go. You plug it in as a webcam, and it's going to be at a little different angle. It's a wider throw, so you can see it's about the same distance away from me as the other cameras. I'm probably a little further away from the FacecCam because it's closer to this camera, but they're all in a row, and I have the lenses pretty close to each other, and there's 4 of them up there, so there's going to be 4 cameras plus my Canon in this picture before we're done. So let's go ahead and let's name this one, label it FacecCam, and we'll bring that up. So the FacecCam is uncompressed video coming out of the camera, and that's supposed to give you a better picture. It is, I believe, the same size sensor. Let's see if I remember right. Let me see if I have any. I'll look at my notes later. But I think the sensor size of that was very similar or a little bit better than the original 1/2-inch sensor in the Insta360, but I might be wrong. I'll look at those specs. But so on the top right, that, middle top right, that was my first Insta360 camera. And again, it will pivot around. You can set locations, and but it was great for me because I can use it as a downward desk-facing camera. I can also use it at the same time to shoot around the room. I think it has about a 480 rotation. It doesn't go all the way around, but it's a great little camera, and I have 2 of those. And then I added the FacecCam. It has no gimbals, but it was Elgato's dive into higher quality webcams, and you can see it on the bottom left. And then not so long ago, Insta360 came out with the new Link 2. And so the difference between the Link original one and the 2 was a 1/2-inch sensor, but way better quality, sharper. They added some new features. They priced it the same as a lot of the $200 webcams out there, but it only has 2 gimbals. So where the FacecCam had no gimbals, the Insta360 Link 2 had 2 gimbals. They still had whiteboard mode. They still had AI tracking. It has focus. And again, both the Insta360 Link, the Insta360 Link 2, and let's go ahead and add that to our fray here. So where is it? Right here. Okay, and then we'll add a label and bring that over. So the Insta360 Link 2 that you can see on the top left, it had a better sensor than the one on the right, which is the Insta360 Link, the original one. Crisper, better quality. a little over sharp in my taste, but I've lowered the sharpening because it's just the factory default, in my opinion, is just too high. But I love the picture. I miss the extra gimbal, but I like the extra features. Some of those features kind of rolled over into the Insta360, or Link version 1, but they didn't all come over, and obviously you didn't get a better sensor in your old camera. So you can see the natural progression, and they came out with the Insta360 Link 2 and the 2C. The 2C is a same sensor, a lot of the same features, but no gimbals. So they still had the choice to go for a gimbal camera, and then they had a choice for one to go that wasn't a gimbal camera. And again, the privacy is they face down, so they can't see you anymore because they have the gimbal, and the C version has a built-in shutter for privacy. And so Insta360 Link with 3 gimbals, the very first camera I got, half-inch sensor. Then they came out with a better half-inch sensor and a 2 gimbal Link 2, better, crisper picture, better focus, and a lot of those type features. And it really was an upgrade. In many cases, it still has a desk view mode, but it's not the same as having the extra gimbal that goes side to side and rotates. And if you want to do portrait on the Link cameras, you'll have to use a tripod like this one, which we're going to unbox, and then turn the camera portrait. And I'm sure that's why they sent this to me, because I've made it very clear that I miss the extra gimbal like you have in the original camera. But they've told me, as we've talked about it and we've had some conversations about it, that they were focusing on making it affordable. A lot of people are using those cameras on top of a current laptop, or they're mounting them. And if you want to mount it portrait and do everything portrait videos, you just get a tripod and turn it. You don't need a gimbal for that. But I was using it as an overhead camera, and it's nice to have it on a tripod and not have it level, and have it level itself, because that's, again, the other feature of that gimbal. And it actually has the ability in the software to do some leveling. So if it ever gets out of adjustment, then you can go back in and make some fine adjustments on that one gimbal. But in all fairness, they know what the market is, and so they focused on not having that third gimbal, and they threw in a better sensor, better quality, lots of features, better focusing, a lot of extra stuff, designing the software, redesigning the software, adding new features, doing firmware updates, and they have been really good. And I've been very happy with the cameras at whatever level they have come into the studio, and they all serve a purpose here in my studio. So if I was ever to use one of my cameras originally for a Zoom call, it would have been the Insta360 Link 2, as you can see in the top left, because I felt it had the best picture out of all of those webcams, and I had all 3 of those, including an old Logitech camera, C90, I think, whatever it is, that many people had when they would buy a webcam to plug into their laptop. And that was about a $45 camera until we went through that season of the 2019, 2020, and 21. And it almost doubled in price, and they were really hard to find. And so I've seen webcams get better and better. And one of my biggest complaints is they're not that great in low light. And when you're doing these Zoom calls and they want to kind of webcams go a little bit more professional, they're really going to have to upgrade the sensors. And not too long ago, I got a shout out from YoloCam, and they reached out to me, and you guys know that I added this camera to my studio, and there's the YoloCam S3, and by far, that has a 1/1.3 sensor. By far, currently, until the camera that we're going to unbox tonight, that had the biggest sensor and the best quality. No gimbal. It's got a really interesting little tripod that it magnets onto. You can turn that camera portrait by just flipping it. And there's another magnet on the side. You don't have to have a tripod to do that. And it has a metal tripod, a little metal bracket it snaps on that really gives you some really cool adjustments if you do want to use it as a downward camera on your desk. And so again, I unboxed that live. I've done some videos here on my channel, and I've made that information out there. It's on my channel. And so I have now 4 cameras mounted up here, and you can see all 4 cameras. Top right, the original Link. Top left, Link number 2. That's a better quality 1/2-inch sensor. On the bottom, you have the FacecCam, and it may have been like a 1/2.5. I can't quite remember. But again, uncompressed video out of it. Both the Insta360 Link version 1 and the Link version 2 had for sure compressed video because neither one of them would work with my Rodecaster video. I have not tested the new Link 2 Pro because I have not unboxed it yet, and we're going to do that here shortly. So you tell me what picture you think is the best. Obviously, the colors are a little different. Do you think the YoloCam S3 or the Insta360 Link 2 or the FacecCam by Elgato or the Insta360 Link, the original one, which picture do you think looks more like a DSLR, and which picture do you think looks more like a webcam like we've seen for a long time? Now, just for kicks and giggles, let's do this. Let's go ahead and bring in my webcam from my laptop. I got to find it here. So I'm going to cover the Insta360. So let's do this. A little confused here. Stand by. Don't need that up. We are going to take this off the air. And then I'm going to bring on a new camera. There you go. On the top right is my webcam, 720p from my $3,000 laptop. So my biggest complaint about the webcams that are built into laptops, a lot of them, unless you owned a MacBook, they stayed 720p because it's just a really tiny space. No one wants a big frame around their laptop screen. And so they kind of have played around with a lot of cameras. You're just starting to see 1080p cameras, but that is the one that I didn't like on my laptop, and that's why I did add, let's turn that off. That's why I changed to the camera that you're seeing up there on the right now, which is the Insta360 Link. And so obviously, that camera that's in my laptop is not a very nice camera, and that's why I've been on this crazy journey with webcams. Because what I really want to do is be able to take my laptop somewhere. If I was sitting in a showroom and I was traveling for content for Blue Dog RV, or traveling for content when I did a contract recently with Clucket RV in the last 3 years, I wanted a nice gimbaled camera like the Insta360, set it on top of my laptop and be able to shoot around the room. And so it was a lot of fun to be sitting at a sale and I could go live from it. It was just a lot of fun. So I loved having a nicer webcam than that horrible camera that's on my laptop. And I've had that laptop now for almost 6 years. And again, it's an Asus ZenBook Duo. It has a smaller screen above the keypad, and then it has a full-size screen. And I love that laptop, and I'm looking at the newer version that came out. We'll talk about that very soon on the live stream. So there's 4 cameras. I actually put 5 cameras on the air tonight, and we're going to still add the new camera tonight. So this is what they look like, and we're going to replace the Insta360 Link or possibly the FacecCam. I think we're going to replace actually the Insta360 Link version 1 with the new Insta360 Link 2 Pro, their new flagship 2 gimbal camera, AI tracking. It has green screen capability now. It has a 1/1.3 sensor. There is the ability to do some AI documentation if you want to turn that on. They have changed the software now. They just updated it. They've already done a couple new firmware updates on my Insta360 software. And so we'll see what this camera is capable of doing. We're going to roll over here now and unbox this. So back on this view, we have audio, which is a really good thing. So again, thank you, Insta360, for sending this out to me and allowing me to unbox it on my channel. I've got my knife here. We're going to unbox both of these. This is the Mini 2-in-1 Tripod 2.0. And so we'll unbox this. And this is the new flagship Insta360 Link 2 Pro. And they call it their flagship AI 4K web camera. And again, 1/1.3 sensor, just like the YoloCam S3 is sporting. And again, those sensors are quite a bit larger than the 1/2-inch sensors that were in the original two cameras, as well as way nicer than a lot of the PTZ cameras that are out there. And we talked about that last week. So hoping to see some updates in some of those cameras. And one of the nicest PTZ cameras that I've done research on, I don't own one, but it's the Osbot Tail Air 2, which retails for almost $1,200 unless you get it on sale. But that is a great PTZ camera with NDI built in. And who knows, that may be something that I'll be adding to the studio this year. We'll see. I'm really waiting to see if they even get nicer cameras with better sensors than that. So here's the front of the box, and you can see the biggest difference to tell between the original Insta360 Link version 2 and the version 2 Pro is that this is brown around the lens on this camera, and this is a touch sensitive spot on the camera. And that's available on both of those. So you can actually do some tap functions on that. Recenter the camera. You can actually tap on it to turn on AI tracking. And again, the new sensor has better tracking in it now. And we'll talk about the new features that are in this camera after we unbox it. Here's the side, telling you more about the camera. Here is the back. And you can see there's some pictures here and what's in the box right here. Here's the other side where it says 4K 1/1.3, and it says a professional grade sensor, and that is really true. You don't see this sensor in most of the stuff that's out there. Again, there are cameras that you can get, DSLRs, that have bigger sensors, but this sensor is a lot bigger than a lot of the cameras that we were looking at back in the days before the DSLR craze, like back in the early 2000s. This sensor is huge compared to that and really good in low light. So again, top of the box where it says Insta360, basic information under here, and that's the whole box. So let's unbox this. Plastic is off. We're going to open it up. They have nice boxes. And there's inside the box. You have the camera, and then you have the mounting plate. And then under that, you have the paperwork. And we'll get that on here in a second. And then you have the adapter. USB-C cable, and this is USB-C to USB-A adapter. So let's get this little mount off first. It says right on here, keep parallel with the desktop. And so this is a adapter. And so we'll pull the plastic off the back and off of that. And it's got a little 1/4-inch adapter. Then it does spring this way. And it also goes this way. And so you actually can see with this, you can tilt it over your desk. So you can set it over top of your monitor using this bracket to and the ledge right here to hook it on your monitor top, and then you can tilt it forward with this bracket so that you can see straight down below your monitor if you want to use their desk view. So we'll set that back down. We'll pull this little adapter out. So there is the little adapter, and here is the USB-C cable, and it's a nice quality, able to handle the 4K coming from it. And you can see how long that is. I will hold that, stretch that out. It's not quite an arm's length, so you can see, but that is a nice cable. And so there's nothing wrong with this cable. And then we'll pull the camera out here. And that's it in the box. And so this has got plastic all around it. So we're gonna peel that off. And you can see these little signals right here. And you can notice when we pull this out that even though this magnet's on here like that, no one really knew what the feet are for. And they have a new device that you can use for meetings in your office. We'll look at that on their website. And this magnet's right onto it. And this camera can go to the next level and let you do some conferences and take advantage of the camera. So it's completely covered with plastic. So I'm trying to find out where the release point is. There we go. And so here is the camera. Again, you can see it's got the brown right around it. And I think the aperture is a little bit different. This is 4K AI f1.9 to f1.9 lens, and then it says real tiny on here 1/1.3, and then Insta360 on the top. And you can see there's a little microphone access right there. I think that's a microphone. Then there's actually dual microphones on top, and it has a whole nother level of audio. So you can actually cut out some sound around you. So they really have upgraded the game in the sensor. They've upgraded the game in the AI. They have upgraded the game in the audio of this device. But again, you can see it still has two gimbals, gimbal number 1, and then I'm holding gimbal number 2, but there is no ability to go side to side. You'll have to put it on here and then mount it, and then you'll have to use this tripod to tilt it over. So again, you can see the spinning. So let's get it lined up here. So it can go all the way from here, all the way back to there. So I'm pretty close to all the way around. So we'll mark that with the knife here. So let's do this. So we'll mark it like that, pretty close, that angle. Then we'll take it all the way around, and you can see that it's about 480, it looks like, around. So there is the Insta360 Link 2 Pro up close. You can see the new color around it. There's the bottom. There's the top where those two microphones are. There's that little tiny hole right there that shows you the other little hole there. I think you can see that I'm trying to get some light on it. There you go. You can see that hole. And there is the screen on the top with the microphones in there. And again, you have the two gimbals. Here is the back. It says Insta360 right there. Here is the bracket, and then if you take it off of this bracket, you can see those little connectors that pops in their little desktop device. So again, one of the only webcams I've seen so far that have another device that you can use with this one or my original Insta360 Link 2. This is the Pro version. So, okay. So that's it out of the box. And now we'll set that aside and we're going to open this real quickly here. Let's cut this. Cut this. And again, I'm going to go over all the specs with you, what's changed. We're going to fire the camera up tonight and we're going to put it in our comparison. I should get this out. This was the paperwork that came with the camera. And this little, so Insta360 Flex Care plan. Here's information on the camera. Little quick start guide. Here is the safety guide paperwork. Here is a warranty card that came with it. And then these are the brackets that you can put on the corner of your whiteboard to help it find it and adjust easier. So these go on the four corners of a whiteboard and you can use those, though I've seen it work without them, but this makes it work even better. So let's just gather this stuff back together here. Let's set it aside. And get back to this unboxing. So this is a little holder that has those little deals in it, 3M. It's got a little screw mount right here, like a GoPro adapter that many of us have had out of boxes before. And then we open this up. It's in this nice little package. And here you go. Now, I don't know what goes here. I have a funny feeling that something like a controller can go in there. But this is quite cool. Let's see, maybe it's in here. So let me open this up. Yeah, it's definitely part of it. Wrapped up pretty stinking secure. There we go. And I think this is actually, what does it say on here? Micro SD card slot. So there's a little micro SD card slot in there. And then that goes right there and it's magnetized. So we'll have to look at that and find out more about that. This little attachment goes right here. And I'll have to figure out how we attach it to the camera. Here we go. Here's another little bracket. Again, it looks just like the ones that you get with the GoPro. So that goes in here. And then hidden in here are some feet. They pop out, pretty cool. So then you would take the Insta360, screw it on there. Somehow I know this expands. I don't want to break it. So let's get the directions out here. You can see right here, it expands. There's got a slot on both sides of this for the SD card. Let's see. I want to spend all night tonight on how this thing works. Attach camera to the mini 2-in-1 tripod. It can go, I mean, obviously it can go portrait, just like that. It's got legs on it, pretty cool. It pivots. So install mini remote. So that's the mini remote. Remove the storage cover from the tripod, insert the mini remote, sold separately in the direction indicated. So I guess there is a mini remote that can go here instead of this SD card holder, but that's my best guess. And I will talk more about this device. But again, somehow it does telescope out. I don't see a release button on the side. And again, I do not want to break it. So let's see, does it give you instructions right here? Do not exceed the maximum weight limit. Pull the selfie stick from the top to extend it to the desired length. Okay, here we go. Oh. Okay, here it is. So that's the wrong look. Me and the logo, let's turn, let's go back to me and my overhead camera. What do we got going on here? Please stand by. Close that. And me and a logo. So there it is, pulled out. You just pull it and it telescopes, and it's really stiff to start, and it's got the little fold out feet, and they just go back in like that, and then you close it. But there it is with the Insta360 Link 2 Pro on top of it. And again, they have a Link 2C Pro without the gimbals, and it's less expensive. And we'll talk about price here in a minute. But let's pull this off of here, and let's fire this camera up and see what it looks like in the studio. And I want to look at the chat here real quick. Chat on the air. Yeah, I can use the YouTube editor to trim out that part. I'm aware of that. I think it posts a new video and you lose. You have to leave the old video unlisted to keep the views on it, if I remember that right. After the live stream finishes rendering, bottom left is choppy. Yeah, and I have 4 webcams plugged into my laptop. So I apologize. That may not have anything to do with the webcam. It's plugging 4 of them into my laptop, plus firing up my laptop camera, plus I'm using my laptop tonight to even display different things to you guys. So keep that in mind. Let's see. A vote for the FaceCam. Don't forget, guys, to answer the poll tonight. Do you use a web camera for video meetings and live streaming? 16 votes, 69% say yes. You use a webcam for live streaming and for video meetings, and 31% of you said no. We'll leave that poll up for a little while longer. K9 Striker, when I see that, it usually becomes the USB cable is not at least USB 10 gigabit. Needs to be fast USB data cable. Also could be a USB port issue of, yeah. And I think it's just mainly my laptop is maxed out. But I just wanted you to see the picture quality. But please don't judge those cameras on the choppiness, because that's probably the fact that I have so many of them plugged in, and I'm prepared to plug in the new camera and unplug those cameras so that we just get to see it here shortly. Let's see, anything else I need to address right now before we fire up the camera? Yeah, and I think the FaceCam does have inherent issues. They've already updated it. Again, has no focus built in. You literally have to be in a 3-foot space to be in focus. There is no tracking. It really is a basic camera. I love the fact that all of the Insta360 cameras and everything I've added to the studio since then has focus built into it. And the Insta360 Link 2, its focus is a little bit better than the Insta360 Link. And now the 2 Pro is even better because of the new Cemos Sensor in it. And we'll talk about that here in a second. Okay, vote for the YoloCam. The YoloTail 2, I think, does not have the same size sensor. We'll look at that here shortly. It is small like a webcam. Everyday Jay, it's good to have you. Sorry I didn't say hi to you earlier. That's a nice little setup. I recently got my first Insta360 camera, the Go Ultra. It's quickly becoming my favorite. They have so many neat little accessories, even Bluetooth ring to control it. Yeah, and that's not, again, they have some really great cameras for doing 360s, action 360 cameras. I know Peter McKinnon did a really cool video on an Insta360 camera from them a couple of years ago. A great test. I wonder if the Insta360 will be making a DJI Pocket competitor using the camera attached to a battery handle. Could be. YoloCam S3 seems to have a much better video quality than the Link 2 Pro, despite that this used to be the same sensor. Well, I haven't shown you guys my Link 2 Pro yet. It has the same sensor. You were seeing the older Link 2 Pro, Link 2, not the Link Pro. So I have not showed you guys tonight any footage from this new camera because it was in the box. So stand by. This is the new version, the Pro version, and you guys have only seen my video showing a side-by-side comparison. And again, I will drag those over here again in OBS. Actually, let me just full screen it again and go me and my laptop. So those cameras there do not reflect a picture from this camera. So the Link, Insta360 Link 2, 2 in the top left, that's the original version. That has a 1/2-inch sensor. Even though it's better than the 1/2-inch sensor in the Insta360 Link, those two sensors being 1/2-inch are quite a bit smaller than the new sensor in this camera. And we're gonna fire it up here in just a minute to look at it. I just wanna catch up with you all in the chat. I will bring up a side-by-side. So you lose the views if you make a video edited unlisted. And then Griff says it caps the video when you edit it the last time he tried. So I'll play with that. Again, I have other videos, live streams up on my channel where I didn't have my mic on. And it just demonstrates the fact that this is not an exact science and you can screw up, and I do it quite often while I'm live. Sorry, I have to run. I look forward to seeing the side-by-side. Thanks. Yeah, so let's just fire this up so that we're not waiting any longer. I'm going to pull the cable out of the FaceCam. So we're going to take this FaceCam down and pull it off. So here is the FaceCam. It is going down. And I'm going to screw the Insta360 Link up here. And before we tighten it, we'll plug the cable in it. And it's a heavy-duty cable. I will change it here when we put it in my regular computer. And then we want to adjust this and get it close to the other ones. Okay, let's turn this around. And let's adjust this without ruining my monitor. I can't get it quite as low. So let's do some adjusting here. Go into OBS here. Okay, I will show you guys what I'm doing here. Might as well, because you're sitting there watching. We're going to go in here and change this webcam from my laptop camera. Here is the Insta360 Link 2 Pro. And then there it is. So that's the first look at that camera with the normal settings. With the total normal settings, we're going to pop it up on our screen. So we're going to hit OK. We're going to go back over here and find it. We'll position it. Okay, so there you have it. It's in the bottom left-hand corner, no adjustments. I just plugged it in. I haven't colored it. There you have it side by side with the YoloCam S3. You can see it's a little wider view than the Insta360 Link above it because they've widened it. I haven't made any adjustments. I just wanted you guys to see. If I just plugged it in right out of the box, that's the way it is. So that's all the standard settings, and we're going to now bring it into the software and show you how the software works, and we're going to talk about all of those cameras. So let's do this. Let's right-click and close that, and then I will go to me and my logo. Let's do this. Let's turn all the other cameras off real quick. So here is all the cameras off. And if we turn the Link 2 Pro back on and click on it, again, this is just bringing it into OBS. Let's just right click on it and resize source. Yes. And then bring it full screen. So there it is. Not showing up on your guys's view. Not sure why that is. It should be now me and my laptop, sorry. So that is the YoloCam, not the YoloCam. This is the Insta360 Link 2 Pro right here. The camera I'm facing at right here. And we are gonna bring that now into the software. I still have the other cameras hooked up here, but they're all turned off. And we're gonna fire up just the Link 2. Now with the software, let me close this. With the software, and let's go back to me and a logo here for a second. I have the software here. And there is a firmware update, I believe. Yep. So we're going to go ahead and update now. And I knew that there was going to be a firmware update. So just like you would experience it right out of the box, exactly what I did. So it's updating right now. We're going to let it go through the update procedure. So you guys can see that it's being updated. You also need to get their latest version of their control software, and that's available on their site. And so while that is rebooting, let's go to their website and look just at a little bit of this. So a 1/1/3 sensor. It has stunning HDR. Here is the seamless connectivity with the Wave speakerphone. This is a device you can use in the office right there. You can now use it with the Stream Deck. So if I open up my Stream Deck software right here, and I go to this page right here, these are Insta360 buttons right here. So we'll fire those up here in a minute because I have to tell it what camera. I got to select a webcam right here, and right now it's rebooting. So you do have Stream Deck control now that's been added. That's another great feature. So you have professional background, so you can do blur. You have green screen, and I have a green screen here tonight. If we have time and you guys want to see the green screen feature, we'll fire that up. So you have, again, the bokeh ability, and then you also have the sound double microphone in here, and so you can actually change the polar pattern so that you could be in a room with other people with normal noise. Let's say you have to run your office in your living room or your dining room, and you need a webcam that will help you isolate just your voice. This has got some new technology built into it, and I will talk more about that in a later video. But that is another cool feature. The new AI tracking, so it's got way better autofocus. And when it fires back up, which it hasn't yet, I don't think, let's just see what the status is here. Still updating. So we'll let that key continue working. So you have a 1/1/3 sensor, captures every detail. A larger 1/1/3 sensor with a 2.4 equivalent pixel size offers 2.23 times the photosensitive area of the Link 2. So it is 2.2 larger area to let more light in, so it's going to have better, it's rebooting, better low light performance. It's going to have better focusing. It's going to have the ability to do green screen work in it. So it should prove to be a way better camera. So this is their information about the sensor, saying it's got DSLR quality. That's the same thing that you heard from YoloCam if you've been watching that. It has DSLR quality and webcam, so it's got better clarity. It's got better low light performance. Really good focusing, ability to do natural bokeh. Here's the focusing of the Insta360 Link 2 compared to other cameras, and we'll test the focus here in a minute and do that live. So here's the information about the sound. It's going to show you in this little video. The upgraded dual microphone system right there, so it can actually isolate using those microphones, and the Link 2C has it as well. So that's the Link 2 Pro, and it's also available in the Link 2 C Pro camera. So 2.23 sizer, directional audio pickup, and it's got an 84-degree spread, so that's a little bit bigger than the high 70s of the Insta360 Link 2. And I have a spreadsheet to share with you guys the differences. And then new customable tracking, so you can even set an area you want the camera not to be moving around. And you can also protect an area. So if you walk off camera, you don't want the AI facial tracking to follow you so it shows your dirty kitchen, you can actually create that space in the frame and it will not track you once you walk there. So you can walk off camera, it won't follow you as you go down the hallway to the bathroom. And then when you come back in camera, it will pick up your tracking again, which is perfect for home school, home office, and even live streaming if you got to get up and leave the camera on facial detection. So this demos that feature. Whiteboard, double 2-person autofocus, 3-person autofocus, and hand gestures to actually be able to control it. And then again, the ability for you to walk in and off camera. Here's a sample of the focus where it matters. You can change the type of focus. You can set a tracking area. So let's watch this tracking area. And then she can walk right off the camera. And same with this. Once she stands in front of the clothes, it's not going to move around anymore, and lets her just talk about it. And then when she walks away from the clothes, it will start tracking her again. And you can change the tracking speed. So a lot of cool features in this camera. Seamless integration with the Stream Deck we've already talked about. The ability to add the Insta360 Link Pro. And then gestures so that you can turn on the ability to autofocus on you and auto track you on and off. So love the whiteboard mode. And you can see she does not have the little markers on the whiteboard, but that will help you if you put those in the corner of your whiteboard. Here's the desk view. So it will automatically be able to point down at your desk. Again, you have to tilt it, and then it adjusts the keyframing. So there you can see that working. Again, you can control it hands-free. And you can actually turn it with the tripod, portrait, and then do portrait streams. Smart meetings simplified. So you can actually save settings now that will actually not just save where the camera's facing, and there's actually some framing available in the non-gimbal version, so it uses the whole sensor, and then it can frame around 1080p, but the gimbals make it nicer. So not only can you save scenes, you can also save settings now. That's a big change in the firmware update as well as the software, and it works pretty decent in the Link 2 version, not the 2 Pro version. So that's cool. And let's see if there's anything else. Here's the AI transcription that you can open up, and you have some free time on that. I think it's actually a paid subscription, but it will actually give you a report when you're done. That's, again, some of the AI technology built into it. You can change the backgrounds, and then also you can use a green screen with this new Pro version. So if you want to use a green screen, now it's been added, but you can also do bokeh blur, replace the backgrounds, bring in your own backgrounds, and again, that's really cool. And then again, you have the simpler one-tap changes to your presets. You can click on them and update them. So it's pretty cool, and you get little pictures. You can actually do some facial changes. Pretty cool. And there's actually the ability to control it from your phone. So I think that's all of those features. So let's do this. Let's go to me and a logo here real quick. We'll check on the camera here in a moment. So 1/1.3 sensor, the new 84-degree ability field of view is a update from 79.5 on the old Link 2. The old Link 2 had a 1/2 size sensor with HDR. Now you have dual native ISO HDR in the new 1/1.3 sensor that's available in the new Insta360 Link 2 Pro. You have the dual mic directional and omni. You had a single mic omnidirectional in the old Link 2 that I own, but the new one has dual microphones, and you have a directional and an omni setting. It has AI noise canceling, just like the Link 2 did. The 2 Pro has that in addition to beam forming directional pickup. So that gives you more of like a pencil condenser type microphone setting. So again, if you compare the two, you have let me just go ahead and I'll show this. You have the desk view, you have the portrait mode, you have AI tracking, gesture control on both of the Link 2 and the Link 2 Pro, but now you've added tracking area, and that's available inside this new Link 2 Pro. Again, that's part of the AI features, the whiteboard mode and the privacy mode. And then you've added green screen and some scene presets. And then again, you can add it with the ecosystem with the new Stream Deck beam control. So the main highlights: hybrid work, educators, live streamers, content creators. The prices are $249 for the Link 2 Pro, which I have an Amazon associate link in the description below, so I appreciate using those. And if you go for the Link 2C Pro, that's the non-gimbal version, it is $199. So 4K, 1/1.3 sensor, AI noise cancellation, directional pickup, AI tracking and auto framing, Stream Deck control, smart whiteboard recognition, true focus, because it's got way better ISO focusing, dual ISO. You have gesture controls and remote smartphone control, the natural bokeh, and obviously privacy mode. And you can see these two cameras side by side, the Link 2 and the Link 2C Pro. And then there's some firmware updates and stuff that you need to add. So cool camera. Let's close that and bring it back up. So me and the overhead. Let's see, nope, it's me and my laptop. So we got it. Firmware update successful. So inside the software here, you got some general settings, English translation. Where do you want the screenshot locations to be? Screenshot. Where do you want the recordings to be saved? Because you can record in this. Recording format, what's the appearance? You want dark, light, or auto. Then you have camera, tracking speed, quick, ordinary, or slow. Enable auto tracking. Tap the touch once to enter, exit AI tracking. So again, that's tapping it. Those can all be enabled in here. The framing settings, smart adjustments, compatibility settings, portrait resolution and high frame rate, Enable low resolution, so there's some settings in here that you can change. Here are your gestures controls on and off. So you have AI tracking, you have whiteboard mode, and then you have the ability to bring in zoom in and out by raising up your hand and down again. You have the audio settings. You want voice compression, voice focus, music balance, mute in privacy mode, use computer to adjust microphone volume. So you can turn all these on or off. Here's the AI recording. So do you want to use AI summary? Recording settings are right here and the location. So it's going to actually make you a file. And meeting recording reminder, get a recording reminder when a meeting is detected, view compatible meeting apps and device types. So you can check that out. Hotkeys, they've added the ability to do hotkeys. So if you want to change cameras, you want to change angles, you can set up all these hotkeys, including Stream Deck buttons, and then information about the cameras. What does this say? Update. Build Insta360 Link 2 Pro is now available with the following features. I think I already updated this. But it is updating, firmware transfer in progress. It looks like it's doing a firmware update. So evidently, I want to give you guys the best image possible here in just a minute. And so let's check on the chat while that finishes updating. Thank you guys so much for your patience. I know I've been talking a lot, so I apologize. So let's look at the chat here. Chat on the air. Lots of touring gears. It's amazing you can control this many things live on the fly. Yeah. Good evenings. Good to have you, Tony. We've unboxed the Insta360 Link 2 Pro. Has a 1/1/3 sensor, and we're doing some firmware updates right now. Good to have you, Grish. And actually, he's saying hi to Tony. Did I miss anything else up here? And we had a little faux earlier. We had no sound, but that's on me. I did not push the button on my microphone before we went live. Usually I have this thing enabled and muted on the board. So, okay. We are definitely going to bring this Insta360 Link up, but I want to make sure all the firmware and all the updates have been done. So why that's taking place, let's do this. I was looking for some type of stand to use with the YoloBox Extreme. Now this is about this much too big, but I found this little stand and I love it. It has height adjustments. It was super cheap. I'll look at my phone here in a minute and tell you guys how much I paid. You can do different angles, and it works really good. There's a fan in the back of the YoloBox Extreme, so you can actually bring this in so the fan doesn't get covered, or bring it all the way out and adjust the YoloBox on this little stand. So I'm really excited about this little stand. It's working really good. Let's look at what that cost me in my recent Amazon purchases. We'll watch this update as it's happening. So let me go back in my orders. I do not have a link of this yet in the description, but if I wanted to buy this again, it retails in black for $8.99, and you can get a white version for $11.99. So it's plastic, but it's really nice. It works really good. And so you really want to get the YoloBox Extreme off the table so it can get a lot of air underneath it. It's got a tiny fan. And you also want to have it adjustable. I don't want it up on top of a camera, so I'm like having to look straight at it and tap on buttons. I want it at an angle. And so I did my own research and I found this. And like I said, I can have it up at this angle. I can have it all the way down at the lowest angle, which is right there. I'll bring this one up too. So you can have it as low as that angle and all the way up as high as that. So really am excited about this little device, and decided not to wait to unbox it tonight because I wanted to focus totally on what we're talking about with the Insta360 Link 2 Pro. Okay, we'll set that down. And says it's done. So let's fire it up together. So we're going to go ahead and disable it in OBS. Make sure. We're going to shut OBS down so it's not going to conflict with any of my webcams. Okay, OBS is down. I can choose between all three of my cameras. So here is my original camera. Waiting for it to wake up. Again, I might be taxing my computer, but I see it's awake. There we go. So I can turn it on now. My computer's getting hot. I can tell by how slow it's being. There we go. So that's the original Insta360. And again, no firmware update, and it's not really tracking me. We're going to go to Link 2. And this is the Link 2. And again, I can gimbal around with these. And then here is the Link 2 Pro. Right there. And let's see what settings are on right here. So let's go to the camera and let's turn on 4K. From the factory, it did not have 4K on. So you guys have not seen 4K to right now. 4K goes 30, 25, and 24 frames. 1080p will do 60, 50, 30, 25, and 24. And 720p is available as well. And then you can also enable portrait modes as well. Let's go back to 4K, and we'll leave it at 30 frames per second. Then you have the ability, again, to do a virtual camera for software like OBS and different things like that. If you hit this little button, you can connect your mobile phone to remotely control it. So we're going to go ahead and allow that. Hit yes. It rebooted the camera. So now let me enable this, take a screenshot of the barcode code. And so now I have the app on my phone, and just so you guys can see that, let's plug this in. And I will pop it on the air here. Should be popping up here in a second. There we go. And let me cut to input number 4. So there is the control, and you can see it's got the presets. That's the model number. I could click on my other cameras and enable those. So right now it's on the original Link. I'm going to hit the Link 2 Pro. Then I will switch back over to my laptop and my camera. And now I will use my thumb to move it around the screen. So I could switch to desk view, which is not set up for desk view right now. I could switch to whiteboard mode. I could use presets. So we'll go in here and we'll aim up at those soft boxes. Okay, stop right there, stop. Now I'm gonna go up here to presets and hit plus. And now I have a preset, and then I'll bring the camera down and I'll hit another preset, and then we'll bring the camera over and do another preset. And now I will tap on those presets on my phone. And okay, so what if I wanted to change a preset and make some changes and add some blur? See if this works. I may have to enable, no, there we go. So I blurred out the background. So let's make a preset with that. Let's change the intensity of the blur and make a preset of that. And now let's tap on the different presets and see what happened. So I'm actually able to save settings and presets into this. So I could have a green screen scene, and then I could change to it as long as the green screen was up. So I could just save a preset, pop up my green screen, hit the preset, would automatically key me out, get done with that meeting, bring my green screen down, hit it back, and go into some friend calls. Again, all using the remote app on my iPhone. So that's really cool. So now let's go into the Stream Deck settings here, and let's click on one of these, and let's select a webcam. Let's do the Insta360 Link Pro. Let's do a function. How about if is there a preset? These are all the things that I can do. I can zoom, device sleep, preset positions. So let's click on that preset position right here. Let's do position 1 with that button. Let's click on this one, select the webcam. You can see this will work with my Insta360 Link 2. I've lost my Link number 1 for some reason. Let's click on select function. Now let's do a gimbal movement. Let's go up and with the gimbal, and then let's click on this one, select the webcam, select the function. Let's do gimbal reset. Okay, so this ought to be fun. So let's go back here. Video stutter detected, which may be related to the computer performance. Yeah, if it's stuttering video right now, it's because I still have those other cameras hooked up. But again, the picture looks amazing. Let's change it to no background. And actually, let's go to the blurry one. Because I think input 1, do we have a 1 yet? We have a 5, 4, let's expand this. So this is 1. So it's gonna change to this one with that button I made. So let's do it like this. Let's open up my Stream Deck here on my desk. Let's change the app that's on my phone. And got it. We know it's having issues. So let's do this. So let's show you my Stream Deck. Let's go to button 4. Here's my Stream Deck. Here are the 3 buttons I just made right here. These are Rodecaster video buttons, but I made these 3 buttons. So that's angle 1, this is up, and then this is gimbal reset. So we're gonna try those buttons right now, but I'm gonna go back to the other view so you can see it. So we're gonna do got it. I know you're having issues right now. Let's do button 1. There you go. Took the blur off and changed to that angle. Let's do gimbal up. There we go, up with button number 2. And then let's reset the gimbal. So that reset the gimbal. So there are 3 of the buttons that I was able to use with the Stream Deck right now, live with you guys, even though we know that it's jerky right now because I have all the other cameras plugged in. We will just live with it for right now because I want to take you through some of the software features. So I have the ability to do different filters. Here's portrait, daylight, vintage. Let's click on vintage. Let's adjust the camera here real quick. Let's zoom out and we're aware. Let's do AI tracking. Okay, let that center me. So AI tracking is on. We added some green screen to our set, though it's not in the perfect spot, but we can fix that. What happened with my camera, it lost me over there, so let's turn AI off. We'll go back up here to position 1. And I think I just lost the camera because of all the other things hooked up to it. But it is what it is. Okay, so let's, I turned AI tracking off. Let's, I don't need this right now. So I got the filters, I have the backgrounds, I have effects, the view, this is the gimbal control. So we wanted to get more green screen behind me. Again, it's pretty far back, but I wanted to have it well lit. I figure I'll just slide back here to test it. So let's scroll down here. I have makeup, I have beauty, and then I have image settings here. I can mess with exposure. I can change saturation. All of these settings are available. I can go out of HDR mode, which is in right now. And now this is the regular mode, not HDR. Auto white balance is on. I can bring the exposure down and up. So we'll leave HDR off right now. Let's collapse exposure. Here's your AI recording on the bottom right. Here is the screenshot ability, and here's the recordability on the bottom right. You have desk view right here, so it's going to try to shoot down at my desk. And turn that back off again. I don't have a whiteboard, so we'll leave that. You can also hold my mouse down in the middle of the screen and drag around to adjust the settings of where it's angled at. So that's what it looks like with HDR off. And let's find some more settings here. Backgrounds, expand. Somewhere in here there is green screen. I can't remember where it's at. Thought it was under effects. Oh, here's green screen. So we're going to turn, please select the background to replace it. So let's go with this background. And you find green screen again. Got it. Enable. So you can see, let's change the camera angle here. Let's do a different background here. Let's do, what do we got here? How about my old studio? View. So as I slayed back here, here I am in my old recording studio. Here's my console. It's over here. No, it's over here. So anyway, if I had the green screen closer to me, this picture would be closer to me, but you can see the quality of the green screen without me making any adjustments right now. That's pretty cool. So obviously you want the green screen right behind you, and I can zoom in too. I know that's kind of freaky. Here I am in my old studio. Where am I? I feel like I'm Ratso now. That's zoomed in, and you can see the green around my hair, right? So there's adjustments for that. Let's zoom out before you guys look into my hairy ears. That was kind of sad, scary, to be honest with you. There's settings in here somewhere for adjusting the green screen. Let's see, it's under effects, under green screen. Here's the settings right here. So I can adjust the parameters. So I have edge smoothing, reduce reflections, detail enhancer, and background color range. So I could make adjustments to my background. You can see it's darker. It gets rid of some of the green around my chair. So try that. Let's try some edge smoothing. Too much. Let's try reduce reflections. Detail enhance. So you have these kind of settings available for the green screen. So there we go. Let's make some sound adjustments here. Got a concert coming up. So I love the fact that it has green screen. It's facially tracking me right now, which is really cool. When I go over there, I could walk into a virtual set and it's going to track me. So keep that in mind. As long as the camera stays in its position, it can pan through a virtual set if you had a big keyed out green screen area. But right now you've got Robo Sapien behind me, and you have part of my old recording studio right there in the background. And I can change those backgrounds to something else. So I just really don't have anything else that I feel comfortable right now bringing on the screen. So that's the green screen work. Zooming back out here. Let's see. I want to scroll up. Got the image control, so let's change the contrast. HDR back on. And that really brightens things up. I like it better with HDR off. And I had HDR off on all of those other cameras. So, so you can collapse these different areas so we can get back up to the top. Image collapse, effects, scroll down here and turn green screen off. So that, or it turned it back on. Put me right in the middle of it. I'm really not sure what just happened, so. I just turned green screen off and yet I'm still in a green screen. Again, I think it's just got video stuttering because I have too many things plugged in to my laptop right now. So this is not going to be the camera. If I unplug all those other cameras, we would be able to see it. So, okay. So what I want to do right now is I want to unplug this camera. Let's see, is this the camera I'm using right now? This goes to 2. So let's unplug. Go back to Mina logo. Got it. I'm going to unplug some of these cameras, take your questions. If you have any questions, let's bring this microphone back in here. I want to unplug. I want to compare it side by side with the YoloCam before I unplug these. So I want to bring back up OBS here real quick. And I have the presets. Cancel. Let's bring the Insta360 Pro back on the air. And I want to resize this real quick. And I want to bring on YoloCam S3. I'm not sure. Wait, that's not the, yeah, this is the S3. I haven't unplugged it yet. Deactivate, activate. Let me reboot that camera real quickly. And we'll bring them up side by side so you guys can see a comparison with the Insta360 Link 2 Pro next to the YoloCam S3. So let's see if this camera will fire back up. It is not rebooting. So what is the deal here? Oh, did I unplug the wrong one? I did. Or did I? Nope. So this one can come out. Okay, the YoloCam S3 is rebooting. Changing microphones here. No, it's not. It is not rebooting. So let's see, can we unplug one more camera here? Let's unplug that one too. And let's use the cable that came with the Insta360 Link 2 Pro. Okay, and then the S3. Sorry, guys, I have cables everywhere. Okay. I want to plug this S3 into the other side of my laptop. So let's bring S3 down. Bring okay. Let's unplug Insta360 Link. Let's get this S3 fired back up. Letting that reboot. Apologize. I'm just isolating all the other cameras and just plugging in those two 1/1.3 sensor cameras. But right now I'm not able to get both of them fired up for some reason at the same time. And again, I think it's just because I have so much plugged into my system. But let's do this now. Let's bring back open the software. I will be doing a video on this camera separately, but now I just have the Insta360 Link 2 Pro hooked up to my computer. I'm not able to get the S3 to fire back up. I will try one more location here. Cable just is really hot. Oh, it's not the one I want to plug. Just tossed my microphone on the floor. I think the S3 is booting up. Let's see if it does it. The S3 has an update, so I'm doing the update here real quick. Just FYI. These cameras have been constantly going through reiterations, so Excited that they keep updating the cameras. And again, I know it's because there's competition out there for YOLO Live, and there's also competition out there for Insta360. And I'm really excited to have these cameras in the studio to put them through their paces. But I love this new camera by Insta360 Link. We don't need that in the set. Just ran over the box. Okay. So let's deactivate and reactivate. See if we can get the YoloCam S3. There it goes. So it is up. And now that it is up, see if we can get okay, finally. Okay, if you wonder what I'm doing, I'm just changing the settings here. View. I don't want to tap right now. Looks like they've made some changes to the software again. I need to figure this out. So those are the presets. Filters. View. I want to adjust the camera a little. I'm going to save that preset for now. Tracking speed, slow. Actually, let's go normal. And I'm just looking for the effects. HDR. It seems like everything has just changed again. There's the backgrounds. Here is All of those settings, collapse. Here's makeup settings, collapse, filters. Seems like I'm getting more alerts. Settings. About. Yeah, I have another update for the LinkedIn, the Insta360 Link 2 Pro. I just got another firmware update, so I'm running it. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they had some bugs tonight, and I happened to be live streaming for 2 hours right in the middle of their team. Now, their team works in China, I think, and they start emailing me at 5 o'clock at night, so we're right in their workday. So they're pushing out updates, firmware updates. But I have these two cameras side by side. So I'm just going to, I wanted to change the settings in the Insta360, but it doesn't look like that's going to work. So let me drag this software out of the way and go back to me and my laptop. So on the top left, you have the Insta360 Link 2. Sorry that I don't have the labels over there. I'm transitioning now. There you go. I'm on the EOS R on the far right, and then next to me is the YoloCam S3 with a 1/1/3 chip, and up on the top left is the Insta360 Link 2 Pro with a 1/1.3 chip. And I can put these actually side by side. So let's find the camera here. And so I could put these side by side. And again, I need to make adjustments to the Link 2 Pro. Right now, like I said, in the background, I think it's doing an update to the software. But I really wanted to do these side-by-side comparisons. So I'm going to check and see what's happening here. It says Insta360 Link controller update now. That's the actual software. And usually I have to close the software and reopen it, or actually close it, then do the update after it downloads. So I will do that after we get off the live tonight. So I'm just going to turn that off. So if I turn the camera off in OBS, so let me shut that down and open it back up in here. It wasn't set to 4K on that example right there. So you were seeing 1080p versus the YoloCam S3 at 4K. So I see that that setting's changed. And so I definitely need to reboot this software. This is the YoloCam software. And you can see the settings here. It's at 16:9, image settings. It's on the Canon color science. The focus is set for face detection. The zoom is all the way out. The exposure is on auto, and the white balance is set to manual because I adjusted the white balance. So I turned that camera off, move this off the screen. Let's try to open the Insta360 software again. There we go. We still have green screen effects on. I'm not sure if that's just a bug. Still says that there's too much hooked up to my computer, which I have 2 of those webcams, and I have other monitors hooked up to my computer, so I'm using a lot of my CPU power. But I would love to turn this effect off here. So autofocus, it is set for 4K now right here, 4K 30. I can flip it horizontal or flip it vertical. Image controls, effects, green screen. Yeah, it's like the green screen effect. Let's turn the background off. So green screen wasn't on. I just had the background on still. So it has the ability to use a green screen as a background, or you can just put stuff behind you by just enabling a background, but it's not going to be as nice as having a green screen keyed out back there. Again, you got the filters, you got makeup. I could add some blush to my face. Makeup says makeup is not supported in 4K resolution. So if I go down to 1080p setting and then add blush, so I got these different intensities. I can add these different filters on my face, no makeup. There's beauty, original, natural, soft. I don't know what those are doing to my face, but we'll turn those off. And then autofocus. I'm just looking for where the HDR settings are, and I don't see them again now. But back to 4K on this camera. Okay, so what I want to do real quickly before we leave tonight, and I will look at the chat, I'm going to plug it into the Rodecaster video right now and see if the compression is different, because the other cameras would not work inside the Rodecaster video. Yeah, and it doesn't look like it's going to work in the Rodecaster video. It says unsupported on the screen. And so that usually means that it's got compression coming through the USB-C port where that will not be received by the Rodecaster. But it will work inside the YoloBox Extreme, which I'll be trying that tomorrow. So again, crazy night. I feel like I have wires everywhere, cameras everywhere. Seems like there is an update to the software again tonight that I need to update when we get off the camera. So let's dive back into the chat, see if you guys left me, went to sleep. It really has been one of those streams tonight. So Hi, Tony. Hank in South Carolina. Let's see. Based on the side-by-side, the YoloCam S3 is considerably better. IMO. Yeah, and I think it's because, in all fairness, Tony, I think it was set to 1080p inside the Insta360 Link software. So I will do a proper video side-by-side. Right now, I have it unplugged. So I think my computer is just having challenges having all of this stuff plugged in. But this is the cable that came with the Insta360 Link. Let me actually try this without the adapter. Go into my hub here. See if it connects. Okay, I'm going to delete all of these presets. Okay, make sure 4K is on. It is. And go into the image settings. HDR is off. I want to see what this camera looks like. Looking pretty good. Autofocus is on. 4K is enabled. I like the framing. Let's set a preset. And then I'm going to turn the camera off. Let me bring OBS back open here. Why that's opening up. S3 is so good. Yeah, and I've had be able to fine tune that. So I'm not going to go off the air until I get this back up again one more time. Not resolution, but the processing CPU is better on the S3. Again, I have both cameras plugged into my laptop, and I have my Thunderbolt plugged in port, sending video to my big BenQ monitor. So again, I have lots of things plugged into my computer. Let me Control Alt Delete here real quick and find out what's going on with OBS. And again, guys, this is live. So okay, let me try OBS again. Need OBS in order to put these side by side. And OBS is booting. The S3 has a hard time activating in OBS, so many times I have to reboot it to get it to go. Where is it right now? Come on. So I seem to have to reboot it a lot. That's not true with the Insta360 Link. It just pops on and comes up in OBS. But with the Insta360 Link, or the Insta360 Link 2 Pro, and my camera, my other Insta360 Link cameras, they come up right away. But every time I bring the S3, remember the S3 though is sending uncompressed video, and I think that's just harder for OBS, and it's got to boot up. Like right now, the camera, again, the S3 is not booting up. So as beautiful that picture looks like, it sure takes a lot of work to get that thing to actually reboot. So it's trying to reboot again. Just want to show one more. Yeah, and it's failing for whatever reason. Confirm. I'm reattaching it to the software. Now it's coming on. So you have to have the software enabled in order to use the S3, it seems like. Let me activate it again. There it comes. So I do have the settings for the Insta360 Link 2. I have set it to resolution 3840 to 2160, which is 4K. I'm going to do 30 frames per second. And then I will bust these side by side again. And it seems to me that the left is the Insta360 Link 2 and the right is the YoloCam S3. And it just seems to me like HDR is still on the Link 2. So, but again, this is me plugging it in live, dealing with the software, doing the firmware updates, looking at the settings. Obviously, when I have it in OBS, I can't open it up as a image inside the software because of the software. But if I close this and just bring it over, OBS over, and show you guys what I'm doing here, I have my layouts here. I can even unlock this YoloCam S3 and put it on the top. I can unlock the Insta360 Link, put it up on the top, and then transition over. And then what I'm doing is I'm just right-clicking on here and projecting to my Blackmagic Design, which takes over my laptop screen, which you guys are seeing, and showing them side by side. And then if I right click and close it, it brings up the software again. And then if I bring over the Insta360 Link software and go into the adjustments, image adjustments, HDR is off. Let's turn it on and see it went really bright. It just seems to be overexposed. So if I brought the brightness down a little, the sharpness seems to be way too sharp. Bring the sharpness down, the contrast, the exposure a little bit too. I just lost the software again. Came over to the other screen. Let's see, exposure compensation. Let's bring the exposure down just a little bit. No, I think it's more of the brightness. White balance. Let's set this to 48K. Close enough. Exposure. 60 frames per second. I got exposure compensation on still, I think, but that should have gone off. Autofocus. And that's one of the things that I wanted to do, is show the autofocus. Super fast. Again, that's even with all the stuff plugged into my camera. So I love that. It's way too warm right now in the temperature. Turn auto exposure back on. But obviously I have to mess with these settings. Okay. Again, got to play with the pictures, but you can tell that they're very similar sensors. Seeing the detail, I just need to color correct it and just have one camera plugged in at a time. But there's the two side by side. And again, I've had a lot of time to learn the software on the YoloCam S3. I've only had tonight to mess with the Insta360 Link Pro. But again, I think it's a great camera. It's got great autofocus. They're perfecting the software right now and making adjustments, even some while we were live tonight. So I think with the gimbals, the S3 does not have any gimbals. The Insta360 Link Pro has the gimbals. So it's a little bit more money at $249, but you're getting two gimbals with that. And the fact that it now has some pretty cool features. So for whatever that that is worth. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's live stream. I will be doing some videos on the Insta360 Link 2 Pro and some more comparisons without doing a live stream at the same time. Using MPEG as a video input in OBS, most likely. Gotta go. Thanks for joining me, Tony. Please make a dedicated side-by-side video with the YoloCam S3 and the Link 2 Pro. I will do that, Nathan, probably from someone, maybe, I haven't seen you here before, Nathan. Maybe you guys are, you're with Insta360 Link, and I will definitely be doing a side-by-side. I want to get all the firmwares and everything update, even seeing some updates pop in tonight. But again, that's the unboxing live. I'd never had the camera in my studio before. I'm going to turn recording ISOs off. And again, I have lots of things plugged into my laptop, getting all of those other webcams out of the studio and only having the Insta360 Link 2 Pro to do some video footage on that and show you guys the picture, and then do some video footage on the S3 and then put them side by side in Adobe Premiere without having all of that extra power being drawn from my laptop is the best way to actually demo those. So again, thank you Insta360 for letting me have the camera. I think it's an amazing camera. Again, I just need to play with the software and get my head wrapped around the changes in your new control software updates that affect all three of my different Insta360 cameras. I have Insta360 Link, I have the Insta360 Link 2, and I have now the new Pro Insta360 Link 2, which is the Pro version with the better sensor AI tracking, better focus, lots of cool features, and 2 gimbals on top of that. So, okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Sorry for rambling and doing all this live, but I really wanted to put the camera through its paces. I like stretching myself, and I sure was stretched tonight. Sorry for the silence in the very beginning of the unboxing, but I did redo all of that part, so just ignore that, and I'll put links in the description, and hopefully I can edit out that silent part. So until next week, I am Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.